I've taught women in their 40s and 50s for almost 20 years, and most of them want to be doing more, which most of them think is a motivation problem or a discipline problem or a time and energy problem. But I've found it's a beginning problem. The way most women think about exercise is actually working against us. Today, I'm going to show you a way of practicing that honors your nervous system, your hormones, your body, the stage of life you're in, and gets you over that hard beginning. Somewhere along the way, most of us absorbed the idea that a movement practice only counts if it's long enough, hard enough, intense enough. And for women over 40, dancing with hormone changes and the demands of work, home, kids, aging parents, that standard is not just hard to meet, it might be the thing keeping you stuck. Because here's what often happens. You want to do something for yourself, to get some exercise, to move your body, to calm your mind. And then you start calculating whether you have the time, the energy, the right clothes, the right space to do it. And often after that complex calculation, you find you don't have one or several of those things, so you do nothing. The subconscious bar is set so high that you end up in black or white, all or nothing thinking. And nothing keeps winning. Not because you lack motivation or discipline or even time. You just don't have a good system for this stage of life. And after working with women in this phase of life for almost 2 decades, here is something I know to be absolutely true. Your body rarely needs more. It needs more often. And that's very different. Before we get into the magic of how to do more often, let's talk about why beginning is often the hardest part. Because once you understand this, everything shifts. There's a concept called activation energy. Your brain is calculating the overhead required to do things. A long workout or strenuous yoga class often requires tremendous activation energy. You need the right time. You need to feel a certain way. You need your mind in the right place. You may even need the flow of traffic to be going a certain way. And if any of these factors is missing, the whole endeavor collapses and you say, I'll do it another day. So we need to reduce the friction, the resistance, how much this is asking of you. And we're going to do that with 5-minute practices. They're inspired by James Clear and his idea, atomic habits. He talks about how every small action is a vote for who you're becoming. So each time you begin, each time you do something rather than nothing, you are casting a vote for who you're becoming. Because if nothing keeps winning day after day, month after month, year after year, it starts to affect your sense of self, especially if you're someone who usually does something. And most women in midlife and beyond are doing lots of something, but often for other people. We're wired that way. And doing something for yourself is genuinely harder. With 5-minute practices, the ask becomes so small that you can't refuse. But every time you do something and cast that vote for who you're becoming, you are changing direction. James Clear has an airplane metaphor that I love. His example is of a pilot leaving Los Angeles for New York. If the pilot adjusts the heading just 3.5 degrees south, there's a turn in the nose that is barely perceptible at takeoff. But by the time you've crossed the country, you land in Washington, D.C., not New York. One small shift can create hundreds of miles of distance. And that's what we're after with these 5-minute practices. You create small shifts but land in a completely different destination. But before you think this is just a nice idea, there's real science behind it too, especially for women over 40. Your nervous system at 40 is not the one you had at 30, I'm sure you've noticed. Estrogen has receptors throughout the body, the brain, and the nervous system. It plays a huge role in how you handle stress and how quickly you recover. And movement practices, whether it's a Pilates class, yoga asana, or strength training, is a stressor. It's the stress and the challenge that builds muscle, builds bone, builds resilience. But when estrogen starts to fluctuate in perimenopause or the sharp decline of menopause, your nervous system often becomes more reactive and your body recovery can slow down significantly. So a long, intense workout is more likely to throw you over the edge, which is why you may not need a full course meal. Maybe you need a movement snack. That's what researchers call brief, frequent bouts of movement throughout your day. And the research says it's not just better than nothing. These movement snacks have measurable benefits, like improving blood sugar regulation, impacting cardiovascular health, and providing support for muscle maintenance. All of these matter immensely for women in midlife and beyond. And for the nervous system more specifically, these movement snacks allow you to hit the reset button more often. So it's not about the duration or the intensity. The frequency is actually where the magic happens. So I built a series of practices to help you begin to take these movement breaks, have these movement snacks, and create those 3.5-degree shifts that land you in a completely different destination with your body and your mind and your nervous system. Let me give you 3 examples of the practices that are coming. There's an atomic practice for lower back pain. If your lower back is tight and achy, which for many women in midlife and beyond because of connective tissue and changes in the body, it is, especially in the mornings, and you're going to be tempted to stretch it. But stretching tissue that's guarded doesn't release it. The body often becomes more reluctant, more grippy, more grabby because you're chasing a symptom. This 5-minute practice goes after the root cause, your deep core is offline. So in 5 minutes, you'll activate the deep core so your low back can let go. There's also an atomic practice for balance. Balance is strength slowed down, and the work you do now determines how you move in a decade. Think of this 5-minute practice as preventative medicine. There's also an atomic practice for breathing because your nervous system is listening to your breathing, and just 5 minutes of intentional breathing will balance the branches of your nervous system. There are 8 more for everything from your core to your shoulders to your legs, for energy, for calm, for pre-hike, for your head and neck after sitting at a computer. All of them are inside the 20-Minute Miracle app and they're free to access. You can also get them here on YouTube as we release them over the next several weeks. Each practice is a complete movement snack on its own. But the funny thing is, once you begin, you often do more. It's just that resistance, that friction, that beginning problem that we have to overcome. If you often think you should be doing more, try these. Get them here on YouTube or download the 20-Minute Miracles app. The atomic practices are free in the app. They're easy to find, no ads, no interruptions. But if you're listening to this and know you need something more, if you want something that is built for your body, the demands of your life, the activities you love, that's the Asana Strong 1-to-1 Intensive. James Clear was inspired by atoms, these small but mighty and essential particles, and how they're the building blocks of everything for his concept, Atomic Habits. And that's what inspired these practices too. They are small but mighty. They are essential building blocks for keeping you healthy and strong and resilient. Try them. Reduce the friction of beginning. Cast that vote for who you're becoming and keep making those small shifts to land in the destination you want.